Hello, everybody. This is the OG debate. I think this is our third or fourth one. I'll take that off your face, Wayne. Don't you worry.
That's okay. I'm just saying OG debate. I'm pointing it out.
Yeah, OG debate.
I can go up here.
Bouncing
Hi.
ball.
I got a block here too. See?
No. That's
See, I can
Lee.
speak when I get up above here, but
I can hide behind.
That's Wayne. That's kind of cool, actually. So this is the OG debate. We got about four. Actually, there's going to be a fifth topic that I haven't mentioned yet. But we do have four topics that we're going to discuss tonight. I'll just put a different one up instead. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're at 875 at this point, and we're at 875 at this point, and we're trying to get to 1,000 so we can start giving stuff away, which is like drinkware design mugs and maybe some scarves and all that other good stuff. Yeah, and maybe some
Here we go.
T-shirts, which you really can't see that well, but anyway, this is American Hammers TV T-shirt. Our shop will be live soon. Our friend Alex has been working diligently on creating different T-shirt designs for us, as well as our regular American Hammers Network, American Hammers TV, American Hammers Radio logos. Speaking of American Hammers Radio, 2 of the episodes are being done as we speak. The Columbus C13 episode, the newest one, and the newest episode of American Hammers Radio will be up probably not tonight because I'm exhausted, but most likely tomorrow. At least the Columbus C13 one will be up tonight, and the other one will be up tomorrow. Wayne just put out a recent episode as well of his podcast.
Yeah, West Ham is why we drink.
Real quick. Yeah,
it came out on came out around about midday today. Usually comes out on a Wednesday midday. So midday in American time in the central. Any
spoilers?
Region. James is not with us this week.
Ooh,
really?
He'll be back next week.
Yeah.
We're taking a week off next week. We're working on something a little bit different that's just for the international break, so that everybody can have a bit of a break. Because it's, as you know, lads, it's hard work doing these things. So
yeah. And the international break sucks, and we'll get into that. That's actually one of the topics tonight, but that's the last topic. So
yeah,
let's get right into the topics then. As we go along, we'll chime in with the chat room, but right now we're just going to get right into it, since these could be some lengthy discussions, even though there's only 4 topics. So the first one
not that
is,
we can talk that much, right, Lee?
No,
I'll just sit back and let Lee and Wayne talk all night. Yeah,
Tim will just sit back and have a nap.
I'm just moderating the Wayne and Lee show. All right. So the first one is actually Aaron Cresswell's extension, and what came to my mind was, I think it's a ploy to sell him, but we'll get into that. Somebody in our Discord, so check out our Discord if you have an opportunity. If you have just the Discord app, just search for American Hammers TV. I think that's the way you do it. If not, then hit up Gingerbread on Twitter, and he'll hook you up with the code. But basically, somebody in there said, boy, and even on Twitter, I saw people were saying, oh no, that we just re-signed Masuaku, and now we re-signed Cresswell. That means we're not going to be looking for a left back. And I think that means the opposite, because, and I know it's a little early to discuss this guy, but if you remember, James Tompkins signed a contract extension, which would have actually, he would still be with us right now because he signed a contract till 2020.
Freak.
So that said, I think that contract extensions mean jack shit, and really, this could be just another ploy to, let's, like Tompkins, let's sign him to an extension, sell him off, just to keep him happy. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Would you keep Aaron Cresswell, sell him soon, January or the summer, or do you think this is a ploy to keep him, or you think it's a facade just to keep him, or what do you think, Wayne? What are your thoughts on this?
You know what? I tell you what, I'm a big fan of Aaron Cresswell, and I was glad that he actually made it back into the starting lineup. I would hate to see him sold for pretty much the same reason that you hate to see Tompkins sold. And that is, I think he's been the heart and soul of this team for a long time. He's worn the captain's armband a bunch of times. I don't think it's a ploy other than, okay, I do think it's a bit of a ploy. Just a little bit of one. I mean, let's face it. If you got him on a, what is it, a 3-year contract, 4-year contract? He signed a 3-year extension.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to come in and really needs him, that they're going to have to pay a little bit to get him out of that contract. So, but right now between him and Masuaku, it's a case of, what have you done for us lately? And right now he seems to be playing really well. So I would say, as long as a player's playing half decent and they're not getting burnt up, hang on to him. That's the way I feel about it.
Lee, do you think that this has to do with him? Hold on. Do you think it has to do with him playing well recently? He came back and he's playing well, and before these last few matches that he played, he was in the doghouse. I mean, they were trying to get Masuaku over him, so there was no selling him. There wasn't. No one was going to pick at that stage after that Man City match. Nobody was going to want Cresswell. I mean, he hadn't done shit, last season really enough to justify being sold for more than $5 million or $8 million. So you think that now that he had those few very good matches, they're like, you know what? Let's snap him up into this extension, and now we should really show people that no, he's valuable. Yeah. Let's try to sell him. What do you think?
You're saying it's a ploy to increase his value.
I think so. That's what I meant to say. Thanks, Lee.
I would like to think that it could be a little bit of both. If you'd asked me 2 months ago, I'd have told you he's done. He just
you and me both.
Going back to last season, going back a long way. I mean, I thought he peaked like 3-4 seasons ago. Well, maybe not that long ago, but 2 or 3 seasons ago. A while ago, let's put it that way. Now, I mean, again, the last few weeks he's looked fantastic. As Wayne said, he's been captain a few times when nobody else has been available or nobody hasn't played. He's a veteran in the club. I would like to think that we're doing this to keep him around for another 3 years, but I'll be shocked if he's still here in 3 years.
I
will be. That seems like a long time for a guy who looked done, a few weeks ago.
But it's bizarre because he just got hurt again, and I'm like,
I know.
It doesn't make much sense. Did they already start the negotiations for his new contract before he hurt himself against Palace? Like, is that something? I really don't know. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, obviously, but I don't know. I think that I literally over the summer I was hoping we were going to get rid of him and cash in on him because his stock was sinking. Not saying it was too low, but I'm saying I'd rather get like $8 million out of him for him. It's funny because I play Football Manager, right? And Football Manager is usually very, very accurate with its statistics and its contracts and everything else. And as I'm playing along with some other team in the news, like during the season, like I'd say like before the first window shuts of I think it was last season, they were saying, I saw the headline. I was going to snapshot because it was kind of hilarious to me. It said Bournemouth, wants Cresswell for near $31.5 million.
Yeah,
what?
I saw that. Where did you see that?
In a game, dude. In a game, not FIFA, but it was in Football Manager, the game.
30? Oh, in football, yeah. No.
Yeah. No, but usually, I swear to God, like the valuations in that game are super realistic, and I thought that was just a glitch or something, but I almost laughed my ass off. I spit my coffee out. It's crazy.
The thing is, when he's on,
he hasn't been worth that since the bowling season, man.
No, but when he's on form, though, when he's on form and he's crossing those balls into the box, he's priceless. When he's on form, but he is getting on. Let's be honest here. I think it was interesting what Neil actually posted about what Claret and Hughes says, and I don't put an awful lot of store in what Claret and Hughes say anymore. I've never have. Other than the price of popcorn at the stadium, which is I think they've got a real handle on that. But it might be interesting if they're looking to lock up people like Noble, Antonio, Fabianski, Cresswell for another 3 years. It makes you think that that's part and parcel of the deal to keep almost like a stable couple of cornerstones there within the club that when they're bringing the new players in, they know the club and they can bring them into the fold. And I think that might even be why this investment is. If you look at the relationship between Noble and Cresswell, they've both got the similar sort of personality. They're Jack the lad type of thing. They have a bit of a laugh with people and they bring them within the club. And I think with the younger players that are coming up through the club right now, that it might need people like Cresswell. It might need people like Fabianski. It might need people like Antonio. They're all very similar in personality. They've got a buoyant personality and they care about the club.
So is he saying? So is Clayton Hughes saying that they are about to get the save, or that they're not about to get the save? I'm kind of confused by the quote.
They are about to. Or it says neither of them are, and neither of them are about to get the same.
So I'm not totally sure what that means.
That means that neither Mark Noble, Antonio, or Fabianski are going to get the same. Like they're not going to get a contract extension.
Well, that seems unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, that also could be like I'm saying, it could be a sign that we're going to keep them and not sell them, but sell Cresswell and sell Masuaku, Kajagugu, whatever his name is.
Saw both Cresswell and Masuaku. That doesn't really make any sense to me. I mean, I think,
you couldn't sell either.
Well, why? Everybody's been talking. Well, not right now, but my point is that absolutely get rid of them both. There's literally both of those players. If you ask, I don't know, 100 Hammers, right? 100 Hammer fans, right? Supporters. You ask 100 of them, who would you get rid of? And they would have strong feelings about one and absolutely in disgust hate the other one. Like there's people either love Masuaku or they absolutely despise him. Same thing with Cresswell. They're like, oh no, he's fucking done or he's awesome.
But you know what the funny thing is I felt in disgust and elated about both of those players at various points within the last 2 years.
Yeah, not consistently though, right?
Yeah, not consistently. In other words,
that's what I'm saying. So
one time I think, yeah, I love him. The next time, I was slagging off Masuaku a couple of years ago, and now I love him. I was slacking off Cresswell last year, and now I love him. It's it's
Masuaku. I remember watching Masuaku. I watched games where I thought Masuaku was legitimately our talisman, almost the best player on the pitch for us in a few instances.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
I miss him being in that midfield role and pushing forward from the midfield.
That's what I'm talking about. More playing at left back. We're talking about in the midfield role. Before we had Felipe Anderson, I thought he looked like one of our best players. Maybe that wasn't saying much for the time, but I'm
that's a dark period for me.
Well, they have frustrated me. They've alternated between frustrating me and thrilling me, and I don't know how to feel about him now.
We talked about it last night. You got Masuaku on one side, and then you got Antonio on the right. I mean,
yeah, it's beautiful.
It would be nasty in like a wingback situation, right? Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
Totally.
I put Antonio back there again.
I would hate. I mean, so we're saying Cresswell.
Put Fredericks up top.
We're saying Cresswell got an extension. Yeah, well, Fredericks.
Yeah, put Fredericks on top of a flagpole, hanging probably. The way you feel about it.
I put him up top because that way he's got nobody to pass to. Right?
He may be better up top. He's not really very good.
That's what I'm saying, because he can't pass his own fucking teammates, so leave him up top.
He doesn't need to pass when he's doing goal line saves like he did on Saturday.
Nah.
I mean, that was just beautiful. You come on, Tim. Yeah. I know you don't like it. Everyone knows how you feel about Fredericks, but come on, I want to hear it from your lips. Did he not do something quite amazing at that match on Saturday?
He did something amazing.
But
who did something amazing on Saturday at the match, Tim?
Yeah, but did he?
Who? Sorry, who was it?
Ryan Fredericks did something.
No. Because
amazing.
Not like all these other
things, plural. He's not consistent anyway.
He's frustrating like the rest of them. I mean, Fredericks is like Cresswell. He's like Masuaku. He's inconsistent. The way our whole team is inconsistent. I mean, those guys are. We always ask the question when we have people on. Who's the sort of who epitomizes West Ham? I mean, it's really not Mark Noble. It's actually probably somebody like Cresswell or Masuaku or Fredericks, who's great one match and then terrible the next.
Good point.
Adam actually said, and if you listen to West Ham's Why We Drink, you'll hear this up, because I said to Adam I'd hang him for saying it if he was in the same room as me. Yeah. But Adam really believes that the reason why we're run hot and cold and we never get, when we have that opportunity to take the step up to that next level, like the step up to third or whatever it may be, he's putting it down to bubbles. He says,
Song?
"Forever Blowing Bubbles," the song. It's like it's subliminal that we're saying.
Not subliminal, it's
Just
obvious.
like our dreams, they fade and die. Fortune's always hiding. He says he's not going to sing it anymore. And I said, Adam, you're speaking out of like passion for the club and because you're pissed off that we lost on Saturday. But he really believes that. He believes that we're jinxed by that song.
Well, we've never won a title in 100 and however many years, so he may not be totally wrong. But you know what? It's still.
We sung it back in 1980. We sung it in 75.
I'm talking about league title, but yes, I understand. We've won trophies. West Ham have won trophies. By the way, I want to say hi to our friend from Ghana. You know, I have some really good friends here in Chelmsford. Well, they actually don't live here, but they go to church with us. Who are from Ghana. Really good friends of ours. So we're happy to see people from Ghana on.
What language do they speak in Ghana?
Speak English. These people we know speak English. So I don't know. I don't know if they have a different tribal native language.
What about in French Guiana?
Oh no, that's different.
So
Ghana.
This gentleman, I believe he's also
Ghana is in Africa. French Guiana is where Jim Jones was in
what Guiana?
No, yeah. It's Ghana. But listen, French Guiana. So listen, this gentleman in the chat room.
That's not the same thing.
He popped in last night as well, and
well, thank you, Jen.
He runs. He's one of the three.
It's Jen. Look at this. It's Jen.
Hey, now you're on the bottom now. All right. So, so anyway, I was trying to say the gentleman from Ghana is actually the dude from the Twitter that actually has the Ghanaian Hammers on Twitter. There's like 3 of them.
Yeah, I know him. Muting my mic, you bastard.
Stop. Because you guys wouldn't shut up. I mean, it's that simple. I was trying to say something like 5 times. Love you. Anyway. Hello, Jen. Hello. What's his name?
Hey, Jen. Hey, Jen. You know what I have in my house? You know what I have in my house? I have your wedding gift that I never sent to you.
Yeah, and I have a shot glass from London. From 2 years ago.
So message me your address and I'll send you your wedding gift. And I'm not joking. I'm really serious. I know it's been like 2 years, but I still have it. So.
If you ask really nice, I'll hand deliver it for you, Jen.
Anyway, yeah, well, that's true. Okay, so let's get back to Cresswell. I really hope we haven't extended Cresswell and are not going to extend Fabianski, Antonio, or Noble. That baffles me if that's the case.
Unless it's a sign of the opposite.
That we just want to get rid of him. That we're trying to boost his value.
We're trying to boost his value, get him out of here.
Well, that would make more sense.
Because Lucas knows he's going to be here. I mean, right. Noble knows he's not going anywhere else, right? I mean, we know that too. That would now Declan Rice, on the other hand. Well, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, you need a whole show for that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we have a guest for tomorrow night, so we might as well make a topic for that for tomorrow. I guess figure out something.
I think Declan Rice does love playing for us, though. I do, and I don't think that hurts.
They all love him playing for us, but when the money comes a call,
Jesus, Neil.
I know.
Yeah. Don't put that up.
I'm not going to click it. Neil, I love you, but I'm not clicking that.
Jesus Christ. So far this Facebook thing is working. We got about 3 likes so far. We get that's nice to see.
All right, so the Cresswell contract extension is just a ploy to drive up his value.
I think so. Let's move on to the next one.
I'm with you on that. I think
which is this shithead, the ghost of the bowling past. So basically, another setback when this dipshit's his injury, his rehab.
Just tell us how you feel.
Yeah. Anyway.
Why do we keep him at this point? Why? Why do we pay?
We're wasting so much money on this piece of shit. Really, like if he loved the club at all, gave a shit, because everybody thinks that he's a loyalist and we love him. He loves the club and we love him. But if that's so fucking true, why is he eating our cash? Why is he eating our cash?
I mean, at this point,
he's getting free. He's getting free rehab. You're right. He's getting free rehab. You know what I'm saying? He's only in it I know people. I've worked with people like that before, where they supposedly fell off a ladder or stubbed their toe and they're out for fucking 6 months, collecting fucking money. I mean, that's what he's doing, dude. You know, and Andy Carroll did the same thing, so he could have his money for Ibiza and Tenerife.
They go down to Patriot Care and Lowell. They get their medical weed.
There you go. Yeah, we should get we should get Strava Craft back, man, with the CBD oil. Dude, I'm not literally. I swear to God, everybody, just so everybody knows, and I wish Strava Craft would watch this episode. I have not felt the same since I've stopped drinking that coffee. I'm not joking. I was clear-headed all day. I felt great. I didn't have an ache in my body. I just, it was just fantastic stuff. The stuff kept me alert, but at the same time, I was able to sleep well. And then once I stopped drinking that shit, I swear to God, like I'm aching like a motherfucker, like really bad.
Purchase. It is available for purchase.
You can buy it, Tim.
The discount
I love
code,
that
man.
shit. It was fantastic for me, but I'm not forking out fucking $8 for a pack of it.
Well, it's like $35 for a bag, man. And I was getting it for free. So
really, well, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we wouldn't know, would we, Lee?
No, I wouldn't. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know.
I gave him a bag.
Coffee. Yeah, he did give me a bag, but I didn't.
And you don't drink coffee? I drink coffee, and I never got nothing.
I got a bag. It's probably in the house somewhere, unless my mother drank it.
Anyway,
I sort of hope she did.
So back. All right. Anyway, love you, Strava Crowd. Please give me some more coffee. Because I would totally sponsor you guys.
I just unfriended him on Twitter today.
No, they're doing great. They have a whole new team over there that's making decisions. That's what happened to us. But anyway, so Reed, we say see you later. Bye. Thank you so much. Maybe make him a club ambassador like we're doing with everybody else.
Here's the deal. If he were healthy today, would he even be in form? I mean, can he still play? Do we need him? I don't think we need him. I don't.
I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with Balbuena. I don't have energy to figure out what's going on with
Balbuena's more
the geezer on the crutches.
Yeah, more pressing concern for me too is Balbuena, because he's the present and the future, and he's I don't know what's happened to him. He's fallen off a cliff, obviously. I even think Issa Diop, as much as I love him, and I've mentioned this the last couple of weeks, he's starting to look a little weak to me. He's
starting to look average, isn't he?
He is. He's
starting to look average.
He's starting to make crazy tackles that make no sense.
Should have sold him.
He's starting to take risks.
Should have taken the 65, man.
I was going to say, his name's on my shirt. His name's on my shirt from last season. All right, so I like him. Don't get me wrong, but man, that money's looking real good now. That 65 mil.
You only did it because he came from a French squad.
No, not true.
No, Toulouse.
I love this.
Toulouse, so true.
Tu es el capitaine, Toulouse.
I love defenders. I do, and I loved him last year. I thought I loved his aggression. But man, he really remember last season, toward the end of the season, like March, April, he started to break down a little bit.
Yeah, he he had no strength,
and everybody, and it was probably growing pains. I mean, that's what everybody thought. But then, everybody started pulling out the card of no, it's who he's playing next to. Oh my gosh, he can't play next to so and so. He can only play with so and so. I'm like, then he's not a professional then. If he can only play with certain people next to him, then he's not a fucking player.
Ogbonna's looking good this year, man, and I'm shocked. I'm saying that Ogbonna's looking really tasty this year.
Diop, I hate to say it, maybe he's just not as good as we thought he was. I mean, he had,
he's good.
He had half a season last season. He had a good start to the season, but he's looked the last several weeks kind of pedestrian. Now let's have him have some time off and see how he does. But listen, in pure height, I wouldn't have taken the $90 million for him or whatever at the time Manchester United wanted. I hate selling, whatever it was. I hate selling our players. I hate selling our better players, our good young players. I want to keep them.
But see, hear what you're saying right now, Lee, that you're not too sure maybe we should have taken the $90 million for him or whatever it was.
Well,
he's running hot and cold. The whole time that Winston Reid's been playing for us, apart from the last season where he's been injured, I've never heard that about Winston Reid.
Oh,
he may not have been the greatest centre back that we've ever had, and let's face it, he wasn't. But he was solid when he was out there. He was solid. He did some great things, and I think that's why they're hanging on to him. Is that I think for what he has done for us in the past, I think they're giving him a bit of payback. I think that's all it is. They're paying him back for the aches and pains that he's got through being out there on the pitch.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll make him a club ambassador. I just don't see it somehow. He doesn't have that high enough profile to be a club ambassador.
No, he doesn't.
But I also don't see us hanging on to him much longer. I mean, certainly with another setback now, I would say end of the season, if not the. I mean, if he isn't sold to the if he's fit enough to play by December, I think he'll be sold somewhere down the championship.
He's off to the championship, obviously. I mean, his injury problems.
He can't handle the championship.
Well,
he can't even get fit for anything, let alone a 40-something, 46-game season.
Right now,
Tuesday to Saturday. Dude, he can't do it, man. There's no way.
I mean, yeah, it's not a charity, I appreciate it.
I honest to God think he's going to Australia with Mr. Neil. I think he's going to the A-League.
Well, he might. That makes sense. There's a club in New Zealand.
Well, I know. Yeah. I mean, I think that he'll end up playing for like Central Coast or Melbourne or somebody like that, or Brisbane.
Look, I just don't see how he can
Perth.
His wage bill. I don't.
Because they don't play as long a season. That's my point.
He was hot and cold, though. He did do some great things. He had some brilliant matches. He had that win against Manchester City a few seasons ago when he was the man of the match. He was magnificent. But he made, like anybody else, he made errors. He wasn't a, top 10 defender.
He was heavily linked with Arsenal one summer. I can't remember which summer it was, but there was one summer that Arsenal wanted him, man, and they were going to offer like $22 million for him, and we said no. And I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we kept him, I guess, because what he did do, that was great. But at the same time, he does us no good doing what he's doing.
He just doesn't. We'll always have a place in the history of the club, obviously. But
that's right.
Not a charity. It's just not. He needs to be off to the championship or off to Australia or off to MLS or wherever it is he's going to go. Yeah.
So our next, I think we're done with that. I'm sick of fucking talking about him. Actually, I don't even know why I brought this up tonight. Maybe it was a current news item. So I said, you know what, everything else was about Cresswell's contract, really.
Yeah. Well, later on we'll debate the topics of the debate. It'd be like a debate.
We also got definitely. So Rio Ferdinand is the next topic. Because I saw his ugly mug in the news items too, and I don't know why.
There's an underlying theme tonight, but I think it all stems back to the fact that you haven't had any of that Strava coffee for months without the DVD oil.
It could be.
Everyone you're referring to tonight is that, and that motherfucker and this asshole and.
Neil, he doesn't need EPL pay anymore because we've paid him so much money he's set for life, man. It's
like he's not hurting. He can't be hurting money wise. Yeah.
His sperm is 5 years down. I mean, 5 generations down the line is all set for life. So especially in New Zealand. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but where are we at? Rio Ferdinand. So here's the thing. I was asking a few different hammers about their thoughts on Rio because a couple weeks ago he did it was an Instagram live which I watched. I don't know why. I think it was before the Man United match actually. Yeah, it was before that one, and he had not a damn good thing to say about West Ham, and it was very shocking to me because I've seen him on TV when he's on like Sky Sports or whatever he is. He's always playing the color of the month. He's the flavor of the month. And he'll say very nice things about West Ham. But when I was actually seeing like a real him, like on his phone doing an Instagram live, he was talking about, oh yeah, easy man. United are going to win should be 4-1 at the least. They're gonna crush them. Blah blah blah. They got other than Declan Rice, who's definitely going to be a United player because he's too good for West Ham and all this shit. That just showed me like what I think his true colors are. But anyway. So a lot of fans, and especially the older supporters, I mean, I want to know the thoughts of people who were there when he got sold to Leeds. I want to know, like, especially with you guys too. You have respect. I mean, you love him. You hate him. You respect the fact of what he did for us as a player, and then did he leave us on bad terms? I know we built a stand or something like that because of him, or the money from him or something like that. But I mean, that's not the type of player that, how do I put it? I think we would probably hold, Reed in better regard for what he did for the club, for the matches that he did for us, than Ferdinand, right? I don't know.
That was a period in our history where all we did was sell decent players.
Yeah.
And they all kind of blur together for me because we had some really great players. You're talking about Rio and Lampard and I mean there was too many to even mention. And they all left, and some of them left on good terms, and some of them left where we're going, we really wish they'd have hung around. And that period is it's a period that they all kind of blend together, and I don't quite remember. Obviously, at the time, I think I was a little bit pissed, just a little bit, because it showed what type of club we were back then, more than anything else. I think I was more pissed at the club than I was pissed at him. Because it was like, the club's willing to sell him when we know he's come up through the ranks and he's a decent little player and he could do something for us. And the club didn't want to hang on to him. They just wanted to sell. That's all they bloody well did.
You're right. But at the same time, there's this whole, how do I put it? There's like a sort of like a no looking back mentality with some of these key figures you're talking about, where like once they left West Ham, they weren't West Ham anymore. And they didn't give a shit about West Ham, like especially the gentlemen that went to Tottenham. You know what I mean? They were all, they were pro Tottenham.
Well, I didn't hate Rio as much as I hated Paul Ince.
Okay, well that's what I'm asking. That's the point.
I didn't. I mean that's
when he did, but when he played against us, I mean, he was hell bent on beating us. No.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it?
I mean,
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. That's what I'm trying to debate here.
Totally indifferent to Rio Ferdinand. Oddly enough, I just totally indifferent to him. I don't think he's under any obligation to love West Ham or say kind things about West Ham. It's funny because usually I have some sort of opinion on a former player like that, even if it's somebody from before my time. But I just don't care. I feel as though if he wants to be a Manchester United guy, you want a lot of trophies there, fine, whatever, it's fine. We told him
he is a Man U player. He's not a West Ham player. I don't consider him a West Ham player. It's because he embraced Manchester United wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And I mean he became a Man U player. It's different than someone like
But that's where he won his trophies, man. You know what I mean?
Let's look at somebody else, for example. Let's look at Bish. Okay, Man City, West Ham, goes back, plays a little bit here, plays a little bit there. I still consider Bishop a West Ham player.
Yeah. Because
there was a warmth about him. You can tell when there's a warmth about a player when they hold on to your club.
But in Rio's case, though, he was an academy player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, very much.
So he was brought up through us. He has no, but he acts like, no, I'm only the trophies that I won in my career. That's all I care about. I'm only that club. I'm not the club that groomed me into the player that I am. Right. But at the same time, the devil's advocate would say, me personally, I don't remember my first job. I mean, I don't remember. I don't thank my first boss for giving me my first opportunity. I don't.
Look who he played under. I mean, come on. You went from managers that, quite frankly, that they were hanging on by the skin of their teeth at West Ham, to all of a sudden he's going up there and he's playing for Sir Alex. I mean, that was, whether you love or hate Alex Ferguson, you have to respect his abilities as a manager. And I think really, and that's why a lot of those players felt that way about Manchester United when they went up there, because there was something about Sir Alex that he was a cut above everybody else. He just knew how to play he knew how to coach the game. He knew how to get the best out of his players, and he knew how to lie and connive and cheat in a nice way that he would get the best out of it. I mean, remember the Ferguson extra time. I mean, that's he did. He had a theory and a game plan for every piece of the bloody match. even down to like squeezing an extra minute out at the end of it to try and get a last minute to score a goal.
The Bill Belichick of world football. I mean, Bill Belichick knows every obscure rule in the history of the NFL, and he pulls them all into play at some point during the season. But Ferguson was the same way. He had power, and I'll tell you something else. He destroyed other managers mentally.
Oh yeah,
he destroyed Kevin Keegan.
Oh God Almighty, poor guy.
I mean, he just basically ended his career. He destroyed Arsene Wenger, who was one of the few managers who could actually beat him. Wenger's teams could actually beat him in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, but he ended up destroying him too. I mean, I remember the season when I don't remember what year it was. Maybe sometime in the early 2000s, Arsenal had a fairly big lead in the table in like March or April, maybe fairly late in the season, and they blew it. They blew it. Lost to Manchester United because Ferguson just started making comments like, "We're coming to get you." You know what I mean? Like, you may not realize that we're coming to get you. And sure enough, Arsenal crumbled and Manchester United won the league. Don't ask me when that was. It might have been when we were down. I think it's when we were at the championship. But I mean, the guy just wrecked people. It's like Muhammad Ali. He just wrecked people mentally. It was amazing.
You know what though? Isn't karma a bitch?
Oh yeah.
I mean, now he gets to sit up there in the stand. Aches and pains, freezing cold in rainy old shithole Manchester. Watching one of the most piss poor squads that the Premier League has got to go out on a pitch this year.
Well, look at the karma around that club. I mean, not just the club has been. And I think they won a Europa League at some point in there when Mourinho was there. But I mean, they've basically had very little success since he left, especially by their standards. I mean, the club has fallen off a cliff since he left. They've tried everybody, they've tried everything. They can't find anybody. They're.
It's wonderful watching them self-destruct. It's a wonderful thing. But I mean, this is American Hammers TV, not American Red Devils TV, right?
Well, no,
So
absolutely. But I mean, going back to Rio, I can understand why a player would have loyalty to a manager like Ferguson because he was such a powerful force, and I can understand why a player would. I mean, I think back, when I used to write for magazines, and first one I wrote for gave me a great opportunity to be a journalist, which I really appreciated. But I had better days at the next several, And if you ask me, which one am I most loyal to, it'd probably be the last one, because I got to do the most, I got to accomplish the most. Wasn't the one that gave me my first opportunity, but it's the one I enjoyed the most. So I don't blame him for feeling that way. I mean, I just, again, other than the fact that he's a pundit, I don't think it really matters. I don't think anybody does or doesn't support West Ham, or any player does or doesn't sign for West Ham based on what Rio Ferdinand says. I just don't think it matters.
You're right.
I hate Payet a lot more.
You see, though, like,
I'm out of it.
As much as we love to talk about, that did take up a chunk of time, talking about Rio. So.
I don't hate Arnautovic. Yeah? I mean, I'm just glad he's gone. I was never 100% on board with him.
No, I hate him more than
you're right.
No, I liked him when he saved us a couple of seasons ago, which he basically did.
I hated Sullivan and Gold for letting him treat us like a bunch of wankers.
Well,
that's the one. Yeah,
he handled it poorly. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Well, the next topic is what we're stuck in right now, which is the Twilight Zone. The international break. Exactly. I think it's absolutely. It's the stupidest thing, to say it the nicest possible way.
I just it's more than the stupidest thing. I mean, look how many times has West Ham gone into an international break feeling pretty good about the season and come out of it going, good God, what the hell are we going to do now? We've lost this player, that player, the other player. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I think I liked it when we were playing crap because we didn't have so many players that were going to play away.
Yeah.
No, you're right. This is scary. It's like I seriously think if something desperately awful happens to Declan Rice, we are effed with a capital F.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, no, but how else is it going to work?
That's what I was going to ask, Lee, is that the question of this is,
What else?
If we're going to change it, how do we change it? Not we, but how does it change?
I mean, I do listen.
I've heard different things.
I do love the World Cup and the Euro. All right, I do. I mean, I my loyalties to the club always, obviously, but of course I enjoy watching the World Cup and the Euro. Fantastic football, great tournaments. I don't want to give that up. So what do you do? How do you get these qualifiers in? What do you do?
The first thing you do is you limit the number of teams that go into it instead of expanding every freaking 4 years.
I agree with that.
Limit them. I mean, there's some of these teams like, what the freaking the mud island that's between one country and another that's got a national team because they can touch their toe on it. I don't know what the hell how they pick who has a team or what.
Like San Marino or
the friendlies are all BS. They're total BS.
Well, the friendlies, I think you can ditch friendlies. I mean, that's one thing where I do think just forget about it. Don't have any more. Yeah.
Well, that was the whole idea of bringing in this European Nations Cup, right? Was to get rid of the friendlies and give it a competition. But even then, I don't think the Nations Cup should be something that Germany, France,
I know. Tim's
England.
Right. It's about the money.
Spain, Italy should be playing in it. That Nations Cup should be for the second division of European teams.
That's another.
Give them a championship they can go to, and then if they get into the final four at the Nations Cup, then guess what? Maybe they get to move on up, and 4 teams move on down. But having an England team that plays Nations Cup and the European Championships is baloney.
Too much. I agree. It's too much. Have promotion relegation in international football. Why not? I mean,
yeah.
There you go.
Scotland would be playing like
poor old Scotland.
Moldova every. Listen. Get rid of friendlies. Just you can blood your players in their clubs and in the qualifiers. You know what? It's like preseason in the NFL. Shouldn't even exist. Don't even have it. Just get rid of it. You don't need it. They're professionals. They know how to play.
It's about making money, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Of course it is. Of course.
That's all it's about. Is making more friggin' money. This whole Nations Cup championship thing is all about making money.
Is what's making a killing.
Biggest bunch of crooks in the bloody world, and they run our sport.
Why don't we take the whole month of January off and just throw in some actual competition, like qualifying competition in there, and give the regular season like a little bit of a break? Germany does it. They take about 3 weeks off or something like that. They take a big chunk off it right there, and then throw those qualifiers, not friendlies. Like you said, eliminate the friendlies. Also, maybe shorten the the preseason by a week. I don't know, like not too much, obviously, because we need to get our players. Their managers need to get their players together and figuring out, the system, blah, 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 what they're going to play for the season. So you can't like shrink it too much, but definitely give them that break, because there's a lot of players who are not on the international teams that could definitely use a month off anyway in the middle of the season, depending, no matter what competition it is, whether it's championship or there's Bundesliga, whether it's, the premiership, whatever.
Here's the thing though. Do they take a month off and do they rejuvenate, or do they take a month off and do they get rusty?
They get hammered is mostly what they get, I think.
Yeah.
I think they go off on holiday and they get trashed, but maybe that's how they rejuvenate. I mean, I don't know.
It might make things more interesting. I don't know. The whole point is just no matter what it takes to get rid of these fucking friendlies, right? Get rid of the friendlies.
Really I agree with that.
I don't even watch them anymore. I'm 55.
If you get rid of the friendlies, there should be more. If they're going to be doing all these breaks or whatnot, I'd say like take the breaks and combine them together and say, here's your little season, like your little whatever that you need to do, and put more actual matches that actually mean something in there, and completely wipe out all the friendlies.
It's the Six Nations, right? It's what they do with the Six Nations, basically, in rugby.
Yeah, exactly. But again, like you guys were saying though too, like all these stupid little competitions that only mean stuff to its particular continent or region or whatever. Like eliminate those as well.
There's a whole bunch you could eliminate, like the World Cup of Club Championships. I mean, what sort of codswallop is that?
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
it's complete bullshit. And Liverpool's playing in that this time round, aren't they?
That's stupid too. You're right. But what about why is the World Cup 4 years away? because it takes that long to play that many friendlies to figure out what your team. I mean, what are they doing all this time? You know what I'm saying? Because the team that played
They got to have
4 years ago,
people's palms.
but the people in the squad, right? Say a World Cup happens right now. The squad 2 weeks from now that goes into training again or whatever, like a month or 2 months from now, goes into training. They're not going to be there in 3 years. They're going to probably suck by then.
That's
some
true.
of them. Half the team's not going to be the same damn team 4 years from now.
Yeah.
So why are they competing for it?
Well,
why do you have people competing this year for something 4 years from now? Why does that even count?
Yeah,
can we do it every 2 years or something? I don't know.
Yeah, but the World Cup is 4 years for a major reason. That's the fact that it's an opportunity for, I'll say it, for tin pot countries to make a fortune.
Sure.
But you're telling me that FIFA would
not
make
even the
more
countries.
killing, having more
it's
World Cups?
It's an opportunity for businessmen within those tin pot countries to make a fortune.
Even if it was 2 years apart, you don't think FIFA would make more money?
I think every 4 years.
I don't think you could organize it in 2 years.
They have the Euro every 2 years. The Euro is these days with the European side.
This is part of the reason why I don't even give a shit about the World Cup. I really don't. It doesn't make much sense to me because there's no realism to it. There's none.
It was my first love.
You're taking the flavor of the week and putting them together in a competition that other people qualified for.
Yeah, that's true. No. I mean,
over a 4 year period, that makes no sense.
Well, it's a very valid point. But it doesn't. It really doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that much. Although I understand what you're saying. What I don't like is, I think Wayne's right. I think they need to shrink these tournaments instead of expand them, which will never happen because that would generate less revenue. Right. And there needs to be some form of promotion relegation among international clubs so that you don't have England and San Marino. You don't have England and Liechtenstein, or you don't have Germany and Luxembourg. I mean, or Gibraltar. It's ridiculous. They have to play all these.
And for all of my friends out there that are Hibernian, you don't have any Scotland playing at all because they might as well just give up and play bloody cricket.
Well give up. That's true. They might. Listen. I love Scotland, but I don't like Scottish football. It's rife with sectarianism and all sorts of other problems.
We got St. Vincent de Grenadines and whatever the Grenadine and 7-Up drink, whatever, and we got the friggin' Turks and Caicos, which I'd love to go to, by the way, but not play football there.
You got Nevis. You got these countries.
Dude, they don't even have. I guarantee you, the city of Lowell has more people than Turks and Caicos.
No, I'm telling you, some of these countries.
You know what I'm saying?
They have airports, but they have national football clubs.
Where are they going to get the people from?
Now, see, Monaco,
from the mud?
They do it right. Monaco, they have a club, right? They don't have a national team. They could because that's an independent country. That's a principality, but they have a club in the French league, and that's
in what league?
Successful. I didn't say the country. I only used the acronym. No, come on. All right.
Yeah.
They play
France.
They play in the French league in France. Yes, Monaco. They do. Yes. They used to be pretty good. Not anymore, but they used to. But anyway. Yeah, some sort of promotional relegation and, eliminate the friendlies. And I kind of like, you know what? I like Tim's idea of saying, let's just do a Six Nations. Let's just take January and Tom, me too. And that's how I feel the way I do about the World Cup. The 1982 World Cup was the biggest reason I started to watch the game. Even though we had NASL and that sort of thing in the US back then, it was 82 World Cup that got me into it. Anyway.
I like it for the opportunity to beat up some Germans.
Well, which England didn't take for a long time, but it's changed.
I'm not talking about on the pitch, mate.
Oh,
I mean, one of my greatest my greatest memories here watching an England World Cup game here in the United States was being in a pub, and there was some German guy that came in to watch England playing. I can't remember what it was, what team we were playing, some South American team, and he was going on. He was just rooting for the other team, and I was like, for a start, you're German, so I don't like you for number one. Okay. Number two, you're rooting for a team for a country that you know nothing about, and you're just rooting for them because you hate England.
Right.
So half time came and went, and I turned to my mate and said, I'm just going to hit the men's room. And I go into the men's room, and it's two stand-up hoppers, and the guy standing next to me is the German. And he turns to the right. Oh, good game, huh? And I turned to the left and pissed all over his leg and went, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Did too much, man.
All over his leg. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm sorry. So
You fucking dirty
Barbara
bastard.
Harris. There's only one Barbara Harris. Our 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup.
yeah, serious.
10 German bombers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, it's really funny. I'm gonna bring something up. A mate of mine who we were ragging on one of the social media sites about Germany, and we can't stand them because we're Englishmen. We can't stand the German national team, so we don't like Germans. I mean, and that's in the connotation of a World Cup. Germans, I've met Germans. They're wonderful human beings. They're nice people.
Yeah.
The same as anybody else. I don't have anything against the Germans. I just hate them all when they're following the German football team. And somebody's got the right arse ache with them. We've got German people that support West Ham that are in our group. You should, and I'm highly offended by it. And I'm like,
So
I don't know why. That's what he and I said together offline. We're like, who gives a crap? Really don't give a crap. Okay, it's World Cup fever, and I hate everybody when it comes to World Cup. I hate everybody that isn't from England.
I talk shit about the U.S. men's national team all the time. I talk shit about Major League Soccer. I still love Americans. I'm American.
I feel as much as I love America and Americans, I cheer for Mexico when they play you lads.
Well, I'm the only American who likes Mexico. I like Mexico. I don't cheer for them when they play against us, but I do like them. I'll cheer for them when they play against anybody else. I've always liked the Mexicans. When England played the U.S. in the World Cup, I usually support England in the World Cup, but I wanted us to win that game. I wanted the U.S. to win that game. I really did. I wanted very badly for us to win it. I know Tim's not a fan of the U.S. That's cool. I get it. And I know the U.S. men's national team is terrible, but it's still my country, and it's still, I still like.
It's kind of like Wayne saying, F the FA. Right, I hate the FA. They suck. They ruin football. Blah blah blah.
Well, I do, and they did. I do.
Not the FA, man. The FA actually, I think, does a fantastic job compared to a lot of these other countries around. I'm talking about the U.S. soccer.
Yeah,
completely. It's all about. It's worse. They're more corrupt than FIFA itself, man. I swear to God. Yeah. They have this system of franchises. Lee talked about this in his last episode with Selly and the dude from Missouri. Right?
St. Missouri?
Springfield? No, Springfield. I was going to say St. Louis, but
he's a wonderful priest. The gentleman.
Missouri. I'm mixing words together. I'm just pinching them together. But no, listen, it's a bunch of franchises.
Yeah,
that's all. Major League Soccer is all a bunch of franchises. It's stupid. There's no promotional relegation, even though I did say in the chat room that night, and I didn't get to say out loud. But the way MLS is doing it, it looks like the way they have the partnership with USL, which they've had for quite a few years now, and now you see what USL has done with League One, League Two. They're actually, which used to be the PDL and this, that, and the Y League and blah 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 blah. They're actually making this system that looks a lot like England. Yep. It looks they're calling it the USL Championship, USL League One, USL League Two, and it looks like at some point, which they are already connected, they're just gonna like open the door and actually have that promotion relegation right there. They're all partners, why not? But they do got to get the damn Toronto Reserve 2 or the the Revolution 2. Whatever.
Revolution.
Whatever. Viva Revolution 2. So basically, they got to get rid of those stupid reserve teams like they do in Spain and in Germany, where they have Schalke.
Portugal, Spain, Germany, they do it all.
Zwei and all that stuff. It's just anyway. So what was I talking about?
You got a Mexican.
Stupid! There's the franchise shit because it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, and it's killing American soccer, which is why I hate the men's national team because I hate the whole system.
I hate
the system. Is bullshit, and every friggin' player on the men's national team came up through that system. I only appreciate the players who played overseas in actual professional men's soccer leagues. I don't call Major League Soccer that. I call it a joke. That's what it is.
I'm with you on that. I hate MLS.
Except
I hate U.S. Soccer Federation.
If you're into it and you're watching this and you're into that stuff, because I know there's a lot of people in here. I know even PJ and the guy we had on last night loves LAFC. Good on him, because certain clubs are trying to do it right, to at least mimic and look like and get the the feel and the environment and help the kids in the community and all that other good stuff like grassroots clubs do over in England. I appreciate that.
Not the
but
one
the old school ones like the Revolut and all these other clubs, they don't. They're cookie cutter. They don't give a shit about the game. They just give a shit about the money. That's
Robert Kraft doesn't care.
They ruined it for me. So
he doesn't care about soccer. No, he's got other things to do with his balls. But anyway, no, I hate MLS. I don't like the U.S. Soccer United marketing that runs all of U.S. soccer. Basically, I don't like the U.S. Soccer Federation. It's just because it helped when Clint Dempsey played for the U.S. national team. He was a Texan, and I like the fact he was from Texas. All right, I did.
I always hate Clint Dempsey.
Huh?
I'll always hate.
Me
Clint
too.
Dempsey.
That smug mug of his, I can't stand him.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's hip hop. You ever listen to his rap music?
Oh
my
please.
God!
Oh.
Hey, he's from
Just go home, man.
He's from Nacogdoches. He's from a redneck town in East Texas. He played his.
Not according to his rap videos.
I know.
He's hardcore, man.
I'm not saying he's a great guy. I'm just saying I like the fact that there was a Texan in there.
Hey,
he's
listen,
a great douchebag.
So everybody wants to know the secret why I can't stand Fredericks. It's pretty much the same reason why I can't stand Clint Dempsey, because they were a spud. End of story. Now you know. Now you know the real reason why I can't stand Fredericks. Not because he couldn't play shit at Fulham, because he was a spud. That's why.
Fair. I mean, I get it.
That's Clint Dempsey. I could not believe that he went and played for them. I couldn't believe it.
Tim? What do you think? What do you lads think about the gentrification of nicknames within the Premier League these days?
What do you mean?
I mean, you just said he's a spud. I mean, I wouldn't even say what we used to call Tottenham fans. Because if I do, I'll get lynched.
Well, listen, people have actually used that word on the show, but they're actually from England. And it seems to be, I don't know, I can't say it's acceptable over there, but it's obviously more acceptable than it would be here.
But it's I think it's we the thing is that term that we're
what's
referring
wrong
to,
with spud?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just, I mean,
the other one I can see. I would never say the other one.
Traditionally, they were called that because they were in an area of London that was predominantly Jewish, and their supporters took that name and ran with it.
That's my problem with Tottenham. Okay, among many other things, the biggest problem I have with them, maybe the very biggest problem, is they took this Jewish identity, even though most of their supporters were not Jewish. Yeah, that is actual.
And by the way, Lee, you look like a rabbi with that.
Yeah, no, you do.
I got a.
It's Rabbi Levinovich.
I got a kippah downstairs from my friend's son's bar mitzvah. I could go run down and get it. Andrew still got his kippah that he wore at my friend's son's bar mitzvah. I could go down and get it. I look very authentic. By the way, when I put on the prayer shawl and the yarmulke, I really look authentic. I do, I have to say. Anyway. Tottenham, to me, what bothers me is that's real cultural appropriation, and I'm not saying PC. I'm talking about to take a slang word that's a slur is really what it is.
Yeah.
You appropriate that as your nickname when you're not part of that group. I mean, it's really, really, really like us saying, "Oh, I'm from Dallas, or a lot of black people in Dallas. I think I'll go around calling myself the N-word." It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
What a nice guy.
Nice guy. Stop it, Wade.
Yeah, exactly.
He's trying to get you.
It's the same thing. They go around calling themselves, you know what they call themselves.
A nobody.
And the problem for me is that they
a nincompoop.
Yeah. I thought you nearly said it.
They take that, and it's not who they really are, and yet they take that and they make it. They claim that as their own.
I know what you mean.
It's actually disgusting. I really do. I've always thought that.
Well, it's disgusting in the first place that we started calling them that in the first place.
But they're always the ones that are always every time we play them. Besides Palace, every time we play Spurs, they there's always in the paper the next day or two. Oh, there's 6 or 7 West Ham fans that have singled out that used racial abuse, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, was it really though? I mean,
every Tottenham fan who's not Jewish and goes around calling himself the Y word.
Well, hold on for a second here. Hold on. Wait 1 second. they have like scarves for sale, like that
I
say
know.
Yid Army. And I mean, I'm saying
That's
that
exactly
just
what I was
because
just going to say. You read
that's
my
what-
mind.
that's what it says. I mean, that's what they promote. It's not in the club shop, but at the same time, they don't have any.
It's part of the culture.
They don't ban those people for for life. You know what I mean?
I agree with you 100%. This is my whole point I'm trying to make. They don't ban those people for life for walking around using a slur for a group that they're not part of. You really shouldn't use racial slurs anyway, you know. But if you're not part of that group and you're walking around using that word, that to me is extremely racist and offensive, or anti-Semitic, or whatever you want to call it. Then they invite all the songs, all the anti-Semitic songs, that people go around calling, identifying themselves as Jewish when most of them are really not. Now, some are, but then there are Jewish West Coast, there are Jewish fans that every club you want to pick out anyway. And then they invite all these, you know, because they identify themselves as Jewish, so they're going to get this backlash naturally. It's always been frustrating to me that they get away with that, right?
Yeah.
That they get away with that. And I'm not excusing West Ham fans for singing anti-Semitic songs or whatever. We shouldn't do that, right? But
Correct. Yeah.
they brought it on themselves. They did kind of bring it on themselves. I'm sorry, they did. And most of them are not actually Jewish, so it's not as though you're saying, you know, we're just being anti-Semitic. No, we're being anti-Tottenham. They are being anti-Semitic.
Listen, back when I saw them in Baltimore against Liverpool, I think it was 2012. There were quite a few people wearing that shirt, and I mean, I didn't even understand it back then. You know what I mean? I mean, that was when I was first getting to West Ham. I didn't really understand the whole culture of Tottenham because I couldn't. You know, I didn't even want to go there. I was just trying to engulf myself in.
Well, there were still remnants of the old hooligan system going on.
But I'm saying they weren't even English. There were Americans I'm talking about here that were at that game in Baltimore. Yeah. That were wearing the Yid Army shirts.
That's typical. I mean, I'm English. Okay, I've got a lot of my family's from Northern Ireland. I've never had any trouble with any Irishman the whole time I lived in England, and all the times I've visited family in Northern Ireland. Never had an ounce of trouble. I go in an Irish bar in New York City, and some guy curses me out because I'm English.
Oh, that's because that's
I hate to say that, but I'm not going to tar all Americans with the same brush, but that's something very typically American.
Of course it is. Of course it is. The Irish guys I knew when I lived in Paris were the most laid back, friendly guys. I mean,
awesome people.
They're mostly stoners, actually, which is kind of funny because they have the reputation of being drinkers, which in fact the guys I knew were all stoners. But whatever. They were very like friendly. They're awesome guys. Then you get here, you get the guys who they're like, you know, they've been in the Boston area for like 5 generations, and they walk around calling themselves Irish.
I was just gonna say that as well, man.
And I'm like, I'm more Irish than you are.
There's an English comedian the guy that was in the TV series Black Books, Dylan.
Yes, I love him.
Dylan, what's his name?
Dylan McDermott.
Yes.
Not Dylan McDermott. Is it Dylan McDermott?
No.
Dylan and Dougal.
No, what's his name?
No.
Dylan. Black Books is a great.
Anyway, the guy, he does stand up obviously, and he comes over here from time to time. And what he did say was that was one of his biggest gripes. I mean, I don't know if it was just part of his shtick or whatever in his comedy set, but he would always say, you know, every time I love coming to Boston, blah blah blah. Every time I come here, you know, there's more Irish people here than there are in Ireland.
Dylan Moran. Anyway.
Moran, there you go, Dylan Moran.
That's him.
I had to look it up.
Yeah. So it's true though. I mean, and especially in Boston, there's so many more. I bet you if you go to New York, there's quite a few Italians that have never set foot in Italy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but whatever. Listen, we're sidetracked. We're out of time actually, but I do want to mention one thing that that Neil said about Big Sam. I did see that as well, and I did actually see the posts from these people that are Man U supporters that were calling for Big Sam, who I've doubled and triple checked. Listen, there's only one team that he's even close in the odds to becoming the next manager of, and I believe it was Sunderland, which makes no sense. I think he's like 25 to 1, which means it's just they're throwing his name out there for no reason. Yeah, exactly. So he's not even in the running, even though I would love to see him get another job. I just definitely don't want to be Tottenham. It would never be Tottenham because he's not technical enough for them. I think they're looking at. I think the best odds right now are for Mourinho for them.
Please let that happen because they'll have one decent season, then they'll totally crater.
Yeah, there's some guy. I guess the Juventus guy. That's what they're Man U. Man U. I think that's the number one in the odds. Is the manager from Juventus. or the last manager of Juventus.
I could
don't know.
manage Juventus to a title, by the way. I mean, are you kidding? It's the biggest club.
But-
There's like 3 clubs in Italy that have any.
I would love to
Any of us
see. No, not Sam. I'm saying like the guy who's at Juventus
I
is
understand.
like Ramsey. But listen, I have nothing but respect for Sam, and
I'd love to see him as the manager of Man U. So all of those smart-ass piece of crap Man U fans up there could sit on their asses and watch a good bit of Park the Bus and long ball.
yes, but you know what? They won't get relegated. That's the key.
They're not gonna
Anyway,
do that.
I still have love for Sam.
They're not gonna do
His time was up with us, and I wanted him out.
But he did.
But this exactly, and I respect what he did, and I
agree.
totally wish him success somewhere else.
He got
But
us, solidified us in the Premier League. He gave us a great season of the championship. Whether you love him or not, it was a great season. He got us back first time asking. He solidified us in the Premier League. He did what he was supposed to do.
We got a trophy! Way!
It's a trophy.
before we go, I
For
gotta
third
mention.
place.
So, everybody knows how we did Hammers polls, right? We're doing that every single episode that we do an interview. We're going to start giving back to Knees Up Mother Brown by, instead of doing like what I would do when I was doing the interviews, I would pull up West Ham news. I just go to Google and type out West Ham and go through the topics sometimes. Well, we're actually going to throw in some news items from Knees Up Mother Brown's website, because the whole time we've been around, ever since our very first video, they've been
they've been good.
They've been linking our stuff on their website, and just to say thank you to them, we're going to start going over some of the news items from their website. So hopefully that'll be cool and interesting, because I know you guys. I thought about it when you guys said Claire and Hugh earlier. I'm like, you know what, we're going to do Knees Up Mother Brown because they're friendly.
Yeah, they're good.
We have
Graham back on here too. We were supposed to have Graham on here from Knees Up Mother Brown, and he had a problem with his webcam, and so I need to.
Well, you didn't have one.
You know where that name comes. You know where that name comes from, right?
The problem was he didn't have one. That's correct. Yes.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
lads know where the name comes from?
No, I don't. It's an old. I don't know the origin of it. No,
It's a song, isn't it?
it's a song. That's all.
Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Under the table you will go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. If I catch you bending, I'll saw your legs right off. So knees up, knees up. Don't give a breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh my, what a rotten song. What a rotten song. What a rotten song. Oh my, what a rotten song. What a rotten singer too. There you go.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That's Knees Up, Mother Brown. It's a wonderful old Knees Up song. Because a knees up in London it's a party. You get, you dance, you get your knees up.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Great. Well,
I didn't know anything about. I just knew it was a song. I didn't know the origin of it or what it even meant. Yeah. I'm super glad to have heard that. And by the way, my favorite part of any of these shows is when you sing.
Yeah, we got to do that more often. We got to get Wayne on every time he's on from now on.
Wayne, Wayne sings the West Ham songbook.
All right, so these upside downers, no, these ones, these scarves, the one that Lee's got around his neck.
Here we go.
It's red, man, but it's maroon. It's still maroon.
It looks nice. It does.
It's a shade darker. It's just dark red, I guess. But no, it's all right, because the Wayne's candy stripes.
It's the same color as mine.
Yours is darker, man.
No, it isn't.
Wayne, that thing with the Dallas skyline, man, I wish I could have one of those.
Hold on, let's put some perspective. Look at my hat.
That is awesome.
And look at the damn scarf.
Well, tell them you want your money back.
But we want to sell them.
And you'll ask for the scarves back, and they should have already shipped out.
Let's not crap on them too much. We want to sell some more.
Roughneck, I'm very disappointed. And I'm going to say this out loud, because you sent me a photo that said, it showed me a photograph of this scarf before production. And you asked me if it was okay before we actually ship it out. And I said, you know what, it looks a little too red. And he said, no, that's just a flash. And I got it, and it looks exactly like the picture. But no, it's not red. It's darker than red. Whatever, they're awesome. Listen, these things are so fantastic.
It's not red. It's not.
If you buy two, you can go skiing in it.
That's right.
If you buy two, you can
makes a nice table runner for Christmas.
You can make a blanket.
It's not
listen,
George's Cross, okay, but it's not there. It is our badge, so it's kind of.
we got to sell some of these. We got 28 of them, and also we got some for giveaway. We're going to come up with this little contest for you guys to win some scarves. But anyway, in the meantime, if you want to buy some, you should, because
I designed it, PJ.
I think Wally actually bought me this one. So thank you, Wally. I know you're not on tonight, but I'll thank you later. Maybe so.
Yeah, we also got the shirts we sell still on Bonfire, the one with just our logo, and then the one with the American AHTV. New shops coming out this week. Working hard on it. We got some cool designs. And what was the other one? Tomorrow night we got a show. I don't know what it is yet, but usually we do Fixture Focus, and there's no match this weekend, so I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do something. And then Friday Night Likes. Wayne's coming back for another beating. And the bear claw.
It probably will be as well.
And the other two guests this week will actually be Casey from Chicago Hammers.
Oh yeah,
and
Casey. Yeah.
Welcome back, David Lang from Boston. It's been a while since we had him on the show. And
I'm going to turn into the Paul Lynn. Friday Night Likes.
Pretty much.
There you go, my little friends.
You're the token Englishman on the Friday
I'm
Night
in the
Lights
center
show.
square.
Okay. Do you remember this one? The question was, if a man falls off a ship, you say man overboard. If a woman falls off a ship, what do you say? And Paul Lynn's answer was full speed ahead.
Oh, Jesus.
He was
I love it.
Now, David from Boston. Now, poor David was the guy who had to read the starting 11 at the Premier League mornings event in Boston back in May when we played Everton. He just looked. He's on camera like.
As soon as he saw it.
Possible.
Yeah, it was live, and he was just like shocked. And that was a shit match.
It was like a space shuttle explode or something. It was like this look of total shock. Like, this can't be happening.
PJ says she needs to make a KC flag and scarf. Just do not go through Roughneck. All right, try Die Hard or somebody else.
Message me, PJ. I've got a couple of good things for you.
Yeah. So in the meantime, everybody have a great evening. I hope you enjoyed this on Facebook and simultaneously on YouTube. And thank you to everybody in the chat room, PJ, Tebow, and Gabe, and Neil, and so on. There was Tom I saw in here, and Tom Leggett, and I think that's his name. Could be wrong. And it was somebody else. I can't really scroll far that back. Oh, Dan Newman. Thank you so much. And yeah. So anyway, thanks.
I want to hear you say the chap's name from Ghana.
From Ghana? Oh Jesus, where's his name? Dude, that's way back, man. Like my wife is gonna kill me. Honestly. Ajasuma
Abdul Mumen.
Yeah.
Ajasuma Abdul Mumen.
Aya.
Listen.
Is it Aya or Aja?
I wonder.
Listen, either way, thank you for watching, and we're gonna get your interview. We're going to get you on the show from Ghana. And
my daughter just scared the living daylights out of me. Come here. She came underneath the desk.
Where is she? Oh, look at that.
I was like, what on earth is that?
Oh,
all right, Lily, you gotta do this, Lily. It's time to go.
What's wrong? Go like that, Lily. Go on. Go like that.
All right.
Do it to the camera. Say, come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
I'm a logo. There you go.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great night.